Hello students, welcome to Time Classes. I'm going to cover one of the most important topic of quantitative aptitude, which is known as speed maths. So this topic is required in all areas and subtopic of quant, whether it is number system, or it is simple interest, or it is time and work, or it is data interpretation. We require this set of skills and techniques in all those questions which require some amount of calculation. We can minimize the unnecessary calculation in many of the quant problems. So, let us start. I have divided my class in various segments. And segment number 1 is rule of divisibility. Collectively, all the segment is known as speed maths. The first segment is divisibility, and we already have learned all these techniques in class 7, 8, 9, and some part in class 10 also. Right? So, segment number 1 is divisibility. So, I'm going to start this segment from the divisibility of some numbers like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and various power of 2's. At the same time, I'm going to discuss power of 5 also. And why 2 and 5 in our day-to-day life? Which system we are using? Decimal system of number. Number 10 means 2 and 5. 10 is 2 into 5. So, my first point is divisibility of a number by 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 2 raised to the power n. And the second one is 5, 25, 125, 625, and 5 raised to the power n. So 2 raised to the power n and 5 raised to the power n. Since our system is decimal, so it is 10 is 2 into 5. If I write the number like 6182, try to expand this number in base 10. This number can be written as 2 into 10 raised to the power 0, because this is unit place, 10 place, 100 place, and 1000 place. 2 into 10 raised to the power 0, 8 into 10 raised to the power 1, 1 into 10 raised to the power 2, and 6 into 10 raised to the power 3. So let us check the divisibility of this number from 4. My first example is divisibility of any number, any natural number from 4. So 4 is 2 raised to the power 2. And we know that 10 raised to the power n is equal to 2 raised to the power n into 5 raised to the power n. So, if you are interested in decoding some logic behind the divisibility of 2 raised to the power 2, so just focus upon 10 raised to the power 2. Can we write this number as 6100 plus 82? Yes or no? Yes, we can write. And why 00? Because we are interested in expressing this number in terms of 2 raised to the power 2, and 2 raised to the power 2 is the byproduct of 10 raised to the power 2. So we can write it as 61 into 10 raised to the power 2 plus 82. And 10 raised to the power 2 means 2 raised to the power 2 as well as 5 raised to the power 2. Isn't it? I hope this is fine. Now, 82 is divisible by 4 or not. 82 is not a multiple of 4. So this whole number is multiple of 4 if 82 is multiple of 4, because whatever be the digit at the place of 6 and 1, so anything into 10 ka power 2 is by default multiple of 2 raised to the power 2. So which two digit or which collection of digit is the deciding factor? 82 is the deciding factor. So can we generalize any number is multiple of 4 if last two digit is multiple of 4? Let us take one more example. 71892. 71892 is a big number. We want to check the divisibility of this number from 8, whether this number is perfectly divisible from 8 or not. 8 means 8 is 2 raised to the power 3, na? So we need to focus upon 10 raised to the power 3. Can I write this number as 71 into 10 raised to the power 3 plus 892? And 10 raised to the power 3 means 2 raised to the power 3 into 5 raised to the power 3. So obviously 71 is not the deciding set of digits. Which three digits will decide? 8, 9 and 2. And you can quickly figure it out. 892 is not multiple of 8. If 892 is not multiple of 8, come what may, whatever be the number of digit before 892, the number cannot be multiple of 8. Can I extend this funda, this logic, for any power of 2? Just quickly recap the whole set of things, whole set of schemes. Any number is multiple of 2 raised to the power n if last n places are occupied by zeros or multiple of 2 raised to the power n. I'm quickly writing this observation. Any number is multiple of 2 raised to the power n when the last n digits are occupied by zeros or multiple of 2 raised to the power n. Let us take one more example. Just check the divisibility of this number from 16. 16 is primarily 2 raised to the power 4. So 2 raised to the power 4 is factor of 10 raised to the power 3, yes or no? No. 2 raised to the power 4 is the factor of 10 raised to the power 4? Yes. So we need to express this number in terms of 10 raised to the power 4. We can write it as 57 into 10 raised to the power 4 plus 1680. So 1680 is multiple of 16 or not? And it is quite evident from this number that 16 as well as 80 is multiple of 16. This number is multiple of 16. So the whole number is multiple of 16. Can we extend the similar observation for 5 raised to the power n? Because the divisibility rule of 5 raised to the power n is solely depends upon the expansion of number in terms of 10 raised to the power n. So the point is, if this rule is applicable, if this observation is fit for 2 raised to the power n, I can extend or extrapolate the same kind of thing for 5 raised to the power n. I hope this is fine. Can I generalize it? Yes, we can generalize. Any number is multiple of 5 raised to the power n when last n place are occupied by zeros or multiple of 5 raised to the power n. I'm giving you few more example. Let us take a number like 67185. Just check the divisibility of this number from 25. Yes or no? Whether this number is multiple of 25 or not. 25 means 5 raised to the power 2. And 5 raised to the power 2 is the factor of 10 raised to the power 2. So we need to check out the last two digit only. From this principle, any number is multiple of 5 raised to the power 2 when last two places are occupied by zeros or multiple of 5 raised to the power 2. Now check it whether 85 is multiple of 25 or not. Clearly 85 is not multiple of 25. One more illustration. 617935. This number is multiple of 125 or not. So 125 is 5 raised to the power 3. So we need to quickly check the last three digits. So 5 raised to the power 3 is 125, and you can quickly check it. 375 is basically 125 into 3. So this number is multiple of 5 raised to the power 3. Answer is yes. 125 into 3 is 375. So whatever were the digit before 3, 7 and 5, number is definitely multiple of 125. So if I write A, B, C, D, 375 is multiple of 375 or not. We have so many possibility for A, B, C and D. I'm sure the whole things is clear. So let me quickly recap the whole thing. Any number is multiple of 2 raised to the power n and 5 raised to the power n when last n place is occupied by zeros or multiple of 2 raised to the power n and 5 raised to the power n. Any confusion? I'm sure you understood the logic, and we have cross-checked the pattern and observation with some numbers, some big numbers as well. Let us move to segment number 2. So in segment number 2, I'm going to use the same base system in slightly different manner. I'm going to take the example of 9 and 11. We are going to decode the divisibility rule for 9 and 11. 9 is 10 minus 1 and 11 is 10 plus 1. So any number is multiple of 9. I'm sure you know this funda. All of you know this funda. This is one of the most interesting feature of the number. Any number is multiple of 9 if sum of the digit is perfectly divisible by 9. Sum of the digit is perfectly divisible by 9. So summation of digit. We are using this sign for summation. Summation of digit is multiple of 9. 9 into k. Suppose my number is 6173542 is the number. 6173542 is the number. 6 plus 1, 7. 7 14, 17, 22, 26, and to 28. Let's quickly cross check it. 7, 14, 17, 22, 26, 28. Sum of the digit is 28. 28 is multiple of 9 or not? 28 is not multiple of 9. 9 3 ja 27 and 1 is the remainder. So what is the significance of this 1? Can I write 28 is 9 into 3 plus 1? Had it been 0, then this number is perfectly divisible by 9. If it is 1, then what is the significance of 1? 1 मेरे को क्या बोल रहा है? 1 का मतलब क्या है? 1 is the remainder when this big number is divided by 9. So remaining part is basically the remainder. So there are two advantages of this funda. One, you can check whether the number is multiple of 9 or not. Secondly, you can also check, you can also find out the remainder. I'm sure this funda, this technique is clear. Now, move to the next number. Divisibility of any number from 11. Five, 4, 7, 3, 2, 9, 8, 7 is the number. And I want to check whether this number is multiple of 11 or not. Any number is multiple of 11 if difference between sum of the digit at odd position and even position. Difference between sum of the digit at odd position and sum of the digit at even position is either 0 or multiple of 11. But you need to keep in mind one fact, this difference is not necessarily positive. It could be negative as well. If it is 0, then it is multiple of 11. If it is minus 11, then it is again multiple of 11. If it is 11 or multiple of 11, then it is multiple of 11. But on the other hand, suppose we are getting the number like 16, 15. इनका क्या significance है? Is there any meaning of these differences? Yes. We can cross check whether the number is multiple of 11 or not. Second, we can easily figure out what is the remainder when the number is divided by 11. So, let us take the example. 7 plus 9, 16. Difference between sum of the digit at odd place and even place. Odd place from which side? From right hand side, from extreme right hand side. First, third, fifth, seventh, 7, 9, 16, 19, 23. Again check it. 7, 9, 16, 19, 4, 23. 8 to 10, 10, 17, 5, 22. So 23 is summation of the digit at odd position. Right? And summation of the digit at even position. So can I say 23 minus 22 is turning out to be 1. Had it been 0 or any multiple of 11, then number is perfectly divisible by 11. If it is not, then we are getting one more information. And one tells us that 1 is the remainder when this big number is divided by 11. अच्छा, चलो एक इसका different perspective देखते हैं. Had it been minus 1, then my remainder is minus 1. Minus 1 is technically correct. But for all practical purposes, we consider positive number as remainder. Minus 1 is technically, mathematically correct. Minus 1 को मैं थोड़ी देर के लिए remainder मान सकता हूँ. But minus 1 is actually 11 minus 1, 10. You need to take the conjugate of 11. Minus 1 means 10. Minus 2 means, right, 9. Minus 3 means 8. Minus 4 means 7. Minus 5 means 6. And so on. If it is positive, then there is no any issue. 1 is my remainder. So, if I extend my question, I am converting this question into one moderate level question of quant. Suppose my question is A 5 4 7 3 2 9 8 7 is multiple of 11. So my question is find the most significant digit A so that your number is multiple of 11. This is my first question of today's class. This is question number 1. Please listen the question carefully. Find the most significant digit of this big number so that my number is multiple of 11. All right? And you know that any number is multiple of 11 if difference between sum of the digit at odd position and even position is either 0 or multiple of 11. So what is your sum? 7, 16, 19, 23 plus A. 23 plus A, because we have one more A. And sum of the digit at even position is 22. So difference of this and this should be either 0 or multiple of 11. Can I say 23 plus A minus 22 is 1 plus A? 1 plus A. What is the range of 1 plus A? Is it feasible to place a digit at A so that 1 plus A is multiple of 11? Well, yes, it is feasible. If I place 10, but remember 10 is not a digit. So you can't place 10. So what is the range of 1 plus A? One more thing. Most significant digit cannot be 0. So what is the range of A? 1 plus A, the minima is 2 and the maxima is 10. Right? Minima is 2 and the maxima is 10. So 1 plus A is maximum when we place the greatest possible digit as the most significant digit. If I place 9 over here, then 1 plus 9 is 10 and 1 plus 1 is 2. Between 2 to 10, including 2 and 10 both, we do not have any number which is multiple of 11. So what is your final answer? No such number exists. So whatever be the value of A, जो मर्जी हो सो रख दो, तुम्हारा ये नंबर कभी भी 11 का मल्टीपल नहीं होने वाला है. Right? Suppose your option is 1, 2, 3 or data inconsistent or not possible. Can I say not possible or data inconsistent? Whatever be the digit that can be replaced by A, my number is not going to be multiple of 11. I hope this point is clear. I'm adding one more element here, divinity of the number by 3. I'm writing here. So, any number is multiple of 3 if sum of the digit is multiple of 3. Any number is multiple of 3 if sum of the digit is multiple of 3. So, suppose my number is 5, 2, 4, 1. Can I say this number is multiple of 3? 5, 2, 4, 1. This number is multiple of 3. Yes, 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 4, 11, and 1 is 12. So this number is multiple of 3. 3 is the byproduct of 9. The pattern which is applicable for 9 is also applicable for 3. So I'm sure you know the whole scheme, divisibility of a number by 2 or 2 raised to the power n, 5 or 5 raised to the power n, 3, 9 and 11. I'm going to discuss some elementary problem of aptitude test based on this funda. Shall I move to the next part? Yes. So one simple question I'm going to cover in this part. And we are going to use all these fundas. Suppose your question is, find the number of possible pairs of A and B so that the given big number is multiple of 225. My number is 67A 948 B and 5. This number is multiple of 225. Now let me repeat the question. Find the number of possible pair of A and B so that this big number is multiple of 225. So what should be the approach in such kind of question? Multiple of 225 means multiple of all the prime factor of 225. And we need to focus upon those factors whose divisibility rule is readily available with us. What are the two numbers? Just try to decode 225. Can I write this number as 3 raised to the power 2 into 5 raised to the power 2? Yes or no? 9 and 25? Yes? Okay. I hope the whole question is clear. I hope you understood the first point. Whenever you solve any question, before writing anything, quickly plan the course of action. Don't write anything unnecessarily. Just focus upon the question and try to figure out what is given and what is required, instead of just jumping on the solution. 9 and 25. So, the first thing is, any number is multiple of 25 if last two digit is multiple of 25. So, we will focus upon B and 5. So, B has to be 2. Can I say 2, 5 is the only possibility? No, big no. We have one more possibility. And the possibility is 2, 5 is 25. The next possibility is 5, 0 possible? No, because unit place is occupied by 0. Next possibility is obviously 75. 2, 5 and 7, 5 are the only two possibility. So we need to consider these two cases one by one. Had it been 25, then my sum of the digit is 5, 8, 13, 17, 26, 33, 6, 39. 5, 8, 13, 17, 26, 33, 6, 39. 39 plus A. Right? And B is how much? Either 2 or 7. Can I say? Either 2 or 7. So sum of the digit is what? If it is 2, let us consider one subcase, A is equal to 2, and the second subcase is A is equal to 7. Yes? 5, 13, 17, 26, 33, 6, 39. 39 and rather B is either 2 or 7. So sum of the digit is what? 39 plus 2, 41 plus B, right? 39. If B is 2, so 39 plus 2, and this is A, na? A, right? So 5, 8, 13, 17, 26, 33 plus 6 is 39. So B is either 2 or 7, right? If B is 2, so 39 plus 2 is 41, and 41 plus A. And next one is 39 plus 7 plus A, when B is equal to 7. So 41 plus A or 46 plus A are the two possibility, can I say? I'm sure all these points are clear. So B is either 2 or B is 7. So it is 41 plus A or 46 plus A. So if B is 2 and 7, then number is multiple of 25. Now we need to fulfill the criteria for 9. So 41 plus A is multiple of 9 when A is equal to 4, can I say? And 46 plus A is multiple of 9 when A is equal to 8. 9 6 ja 54 is 8. So what are the two possibility? Corresponding to each of the value of B, we have a unique value of A. How many possible pairs of A and B are there? Can I say my final answer is 2 possible pairs of A and B? I hope this is fine. I'm going to cover or consider one more question, right? Question is, find the number of possible pair of A and B so that the given number is a perfect square number. You know perfect square number? It is n into n के form में होना चाहिए, and number is of the form something into something. So your question is, find the number of possible pair of digits A and B so that the given number is multiple of 4. So what is the, you can say, basic concepts which is helping you in decoding some logic, or what is the, you can say, deciding factor, whether the number is square or not. There are n number of deciding factor. But you know that any number is a perfect square number if all the primes which are involved in the prime factorization of this number have even power. And we are not sure about A and B, so we can't think about sum of the digits. Just try to focus upon the divisibility of this number from 2 or 2 raised to the power n. You know that this number is an even number. For sure, this number is multiple of 2. This number is multiple of 2, whatever be the value of A and B. Can I say this number is multiple of 2? Yes or no? But this number is multiple of 4 or not? Just quickly check the number. We need to check the last 2 digits of the number. And why we are checking 4? Just we are trying to figure it out. We have additional 2's or not. How many 2's are hidden inside this number? 82 is not multiple of 4. We need to check the last 2 digits only. Right? So 82 is not multiple of 4. Can I say this number is multiple of 2 but not multiple of 4? Come what may, whatever with the value of a and b, we are not going to get the perfect square number, for sure, isn't it? I hope this is fine. This number is not a perfect square number, whatever with the value of a and b. So no such pair of a and b exist. Actually, what we are doing in such kind of question, we are trying to disapprove rather than prove. We are disapproving that whatever with the possibility of a and b, this number is not a perfect square number. In the similar fashion, in your quant classes, you will check the divisibility of a number from 10 raised to the power n plus 1, 10 raised to the power n minus 1. But for the time being, we are moving to the next segment. And the next segment is duplex method. I'm going to cover some calculation techniques, some multiplication techniques. And the next one is duplex method. Now, duplex method is also known as cross multiplication method. Cross multiplication method. So, this is your segment number 2, and the method is duplex method of multiplication. Duplex method of multiplication. Right. So I'm taking a very simple example. I'm trying to start from the scratch, from 0. Let's take two simple 2-digit numbers. Suppose my number is 68 and 54 are the two numbers. 68 and 54. We want to multiply 68 and 54. So one approach is जो हम लोग बचपन से करते आ रहे हैं, 4 8 जा, then 4 6 जा, फिर नंबर लिखा, फिर ऐड किया. Can we do this calculation within 30 seconds or at max 30 seconds? So stepwise approach is, the first step is consider the digit from the right hand side. The rightmost digits are 8 and 4. Take the digit 8 and 4 in one go. So whenever you consider the rightmost digit, the result is simply multiplication of these two. So take one digit at a time from right hand side in the step number 1. Step number 2, take 2 digits from right hand side. So this time we need to consider 6 8 and 5 4. Step number 3, just ignore 8 and 4 and consider 6 and 5. So whenever you consider one digit at a time, it is simple multiplication. And whenever you consider 2 digits at a time, it is cross multiplication. Right? So step number 1, consider digit 8 and 4, yani once at a time. So step number 1 is 8 into 4. Step number 2 is 2 digit at a time, yani 6, 8 and 5, 4. Means we need to do the cross multiplication, right? So 8 into 5 and 6 into 4, right? So it is 8 into 5 plus 6 into 4. Step 2 is clear? Now the step 3 is ignore 8 and 4 and consider 6 and 5. You have to multiply 6 and 5. So 6 into 5. So we are not supposed to write all these steps. Just for understanding part, for understanding, we are writing all these steps, but these are kind of dancing step. You have to complete all 3 steps in one go. What is your first product? 8 and 4. 8 4 ja 32. The first digit which is appearing is 32, means we have to place 2 over here, and 3 is the carryover. Right? So 2 here, and 3 is the carryover. Right? Now in the next step, we need to consider 2 digits at a time. 6 into 4 is 24, and 8 into 5 is 40. 24 and 40 is 64. Right? And 3 is the carryover. 64 plus 3, 67. Now what is your next carryover? 6. Next carryover is 6. Now the last step, or step number 3, is multiplication of 6 and 5. So 6 into 5 is 30, and 6 is carryover. So 30 plus 6 is 36. So it is 3672. 3672 is my final answer. All right? Now, I can extend this pattern for 3-digit number, 4-digit number, 5-digit number, or any n-digit number. Let us consider one more example of 2-digit number. Suppose one of the number is 97 and second number is 58. 97 into 58. This time I'm not going to write all these 3 steps. Just I'm doing all 3 steps in one go, and just I'm trying to memorize the numbers and the carryover. 7 8 ja. Consider once at a time. 7 8 ja 56, and 5 is the carryover. 5 is my carryover. Now the next step is 2 at a time. Cross multiplication. 9 8 72. 9 into 8 is 72, and 7 into 5 is 35. So 72 plus 35 is 107, and 5 is by carryover. 107 and 5 is 112. So 2, we can write 2 over here, and 11 is the carryover. 112, 2 is here, and 11 is carryover. Right? Now, what is the third step? Third step is just ignore 7 and 8 and move to 9 and 5. 9 5 ja 45, and 11 is your carryover. So 45 plus 11 is 56. We have an approach which can cross-check our result also. The method of cross-checking is called digit sum approach. I'm going to cover digit sum approach in very detail in the next segment. Just for the time being, let us consider one more example. Suppose one of the number, I'm taking one more example of 3 digit, 5 4 6 and 8 2 9. Right? 5 4 6 and 8 to 9. How many digits we have? 3 and 3. 5 4 6 and 8 to 9. The first step and second step is similar to the previous example. The first step is consider a digit once at a time, then 2 at a time, then 3 at a time, then ignore 6 and 2, then 2 at a time, then ignore 4 6 and 2 9, then once at a time. The first step is 6 and 9 is 6 into 9, once at a time. The next one is 2 at a time, in 4, 6 and 2, 9. Then 3 at a time, then 2 at a time, then once at a time. These are the steps. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. If I consider 6 and 9, so whenever you consider single digit, it is simple multiplication. So 6 into 9 is 54. 4 is here and 5 is my carryover. So what is your next step? 2 at a time. 6, 2, 4, 9. 6 into 2 is 12. 4 into 9 is 36. So 12 and 36 is 48 and 5 is my carryover. So 48 plus 5 is 53. 53 is here. My next carryover is still 5. Next one, 3 at a time. So whenever you consider 3 digit, this is the new step. Please listen carefully. 6, 8, 5, 9, 4, 2. 6, 8, 5, 9. Cross multiplication and addition. And middle place का आमने सामने का multiplication. 6, 8 जा 48. 5, 9 जा 45. And 4, 2 जा 8. 48 and 45 is 93. And 8 is 101. So you can write over here, just for your revision purpose, I am writing all the statements, all the steps. 6 into 8, right? Plus 5 into 9, plus 4 into 2. So 48, 45, 93, plus 8, 101, right? And 5 is my carryover. 101 plus 5 is 106. 6 and 10 is the carryover. I hope this is fine. First 3 steps are clear. Now move to the step number 4. 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time. Now in step number 4, you are supposed to ignore 6 and 9. So we are left with 2 digit, and 2 digit means simple cross multiplication and addition. 5 2 ja 10, 4 8 ja 32. 10 and 32 is 42, and my carryover is 10. 42 plus 10 is 52. So we can write 2 over here, and 5 is the carryover. Now the last step is 5 and 8. 5 and 8 means multiplication of 5 and 8. And 5 8 ja 40, and your carryover is 5. 40 and 5 is turning out to be 45. So this is my final result. But we are supposed to do all calculation, all dancing steps in one go. The upper limit is 30 second, 40 second. So I'm just writing step number 3, 4 and 5 for your revision purpose. Step number 3 is, this is step number 3 rather. Step number 2 is 4 into 9 plus 6 into 2. And the step number 4 is 5 into 2 plus 4 into 8. And the last step is 5 into 8. I hope this is fine. So in the next segment, I'm going to extend the same technique for a different set of number, and we will cross-check how we can cross-check all such kind of multiplication. So I'm going to introduce a term which is known as digit sum. All right?